Writing. The first time my daughter called her teacher, Mommy, I felt my heart stop. It was supposed to be the happiest morning of her little life, her first day of school. She had spent weeks choosing her backpack, practicing writing her name, and asking me whether her teacher would like her. But the moment I saw her run into that classroom and wrap her arms around a woman she had known for less than 5 minutes, something inside me cracked. Then she looked up at her teacher with innocent, hopeful eyes and called her Mommy. I was standing in the hallway when it happened. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to apologize. Most of all, I wanted to protect my daughter from the embarrassment I thought was coming. But the teacher didn't laugh. She didn't correct her harshly. She didn't even look surprised. Instead, she slowly lowered herself onto one knee until she was at my daughter's eye level, gently held her hands, and answered as though those words hadn't frightened her at all. My name is Daniel, and my daughter Lily was 6 years old that morning. Her mother had been gone for almost 3 years. Lily was only 3 when we lost her, too young to understand what had happened. For months afterward, she would stand near the front window every afternoon waiting for her mother to come home. I kept telling her that Mommy loved her and that she would always be part of our family, even though I didn't know how to explain the rest. Eventually, Lily stopped asking questions. That silence hurt more than her tears. I had become everything she needed. I packed her lunches, learned how to tie ribbons into her hair, stayed awake when she had nightmares, and worked extra hours to make sure there was food on the table. I wasn't perfect. There were mornings when I burned breakfast and evenings when I came home too tired to do anything except sit beside her while she watched cartoons. But Lily never complained. She would simply climb into my lap, put her head against my chest, and tell me that Mommy would be proud of us. Her first day of school felt like the beginning of a new chapter. I walked her to the classroom holding her tiny hand. She wore a yellow dress, white shoes, and a backpack that looked almost as big as she was. Her teacher, Mrs. Bennett, welcomed every child with a warm smile. There was something familiar about her kindness. She didn't rush the children. She bent down when she spoke to them. She listened carefully. When Lily dropped her pencil case, Mrs. Bennett picked it up before Lily could even bend over. Then Lily looked at her. For a moment, she simply stared. And then she whispered the word that changed everything. Mommy. I felt the air leave my lungs. Lily didn't understand why I suddenly looked away. She only knew that Mrs. Bennett was smiling at her. The teacher knelt down. She told Lily that she wasn't her mommy, but she understood why Lily might have thought of her that way. She said sometimes our hearts recognize kindness before our minds understand it. Then she gently reminded Lily that her real mommy would always have a special place in her heart. Lily nodded. Then she hugged her. I expected to feel jealous. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. That afternoon, Mrs. Bennett asked if she could speak with me privately. My first thought was that Lily had caused trouble. But the teacher explained that Lily had been quiet during class. She had drawn a picture of 3 people beneath a yellow sun. One was herself. One was me. The third was a woman she called Mommy. Mrs. Bennett told me that Lily hadn't forgotten her mother. She was remembering her. That night, I sat beside Lily's bed and asked her about the picture. She told me that she wished Mommy could see her first day of school. Then she asked whether Mommy would be angry that she had called someone else Mommy. My heart broke. I told her no. I told her that love wasn't something that disappeared when we loved someone new. It was something that grew. Over the next few weeks, Lily began changing. She started talking about her mother again. At first, it was little things. She remembered a song her mother used to sing. She remembered the way her mother made pancakes shaped like stars. She remembered being carried through the house during thunderstorms. I listened. I stopped trying to change the subject whenever memories became painful. Mrs. Bennet encouraged Lily to draw pictures about her mother. She created a small memory box in the classroom where children could keep drawings or notes about people they loved. One Friday, Lily brought home a picture and placed it on our refrigerator. It showed 4 people. Me, Lily, her mother, and Mrs. Bennet. I stared at it for a long time. Then I asked why there were 4. Lily smiled and said her heart had enough room. That simple sentence stayed with me. But then something happened that frightened me. Mrs. Bennet announced that she might have to leave the school. Her father had become seriously ill, and she needed to move temporarily to care for him. Lily didn't understand. She thought another person she loved was going to disappear. That night, she cried harder than I had seen her cry in years. She said she didn't want another goodbye. I held her and finally understood what Mrs. Bennet had been teaching me all along. Children don't need adults to promise that nobody will ever leave. They need adults who teach them that love remains meaningful even when circumstances change. The next morning, Lily made a card for her teacher. She drew the same yellow sun. This time, there were only 3 people. Lily, Mrs. Bennet, and me. At the bottom she had written, in crooked letters, "Thank you for being kind." Mrs. Bennet cried when she read it. She knelt down exactly as she had on that first day and hugged Lily. She told her that she wasn't disappearing. She would be away for a while, but the memories they had made would remain. Lily nodded. Then she surprised everyone. She told Mrs. Bennet that she didn't need to be her mommy. She already had one. She just needed to be her teacher who loved her. I had to turn away so nobody would see my tears. Months later, Mrs. Bennet returned to school. Lily ran toward her the moment she saw her. But this time she didn't call her mommy. She called her Mrs. Bennet. And somehow, that was even more beautiful. Because Lily had finally understood the difference between replacing someone and making room for someone. Her mother had never been replaced. She never would be. Mrs. Bennet had simply helped Lily discover that kindness could come from unexpected places. Years later, Lily still kept that first day drawing in a box under her bed. Sometimes she would take it out and smile. She once told me that when she was little, she thought people disappeared completely when they died. Now she understood that wasn't true. People remain in the stories we tell, the lessons they leave behind, and the love they planted inside us. And I realized something too. I had spent years trying to protect my daughter from grief.